Good afternoon and welcome inside Elmhurst Field as the Elmhurst College Blue Jays host their home opener today against the North Park University Vikings. I'm Luke Tanaka. North Park won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so the Blue Jays will receive the opening kick here today in their home opener at Elmhurst Field. CCIW play opening up a week early, and why not get right into conference action with Carroll joining the conference as well. We're going to get to conference play right off the bat here, third game of the year. Both teams 1-1. Santillan set to kick it away, and we are underway. A squib kick, touched by one of the Blue Jays on the near side, picked up and taken towards the 35 and brought down. On special teams, Jim Scales, number 88, receives the ball. Had it hit right off the back of his left shoulder. Then was able to field it, and the Blue Jays will start their first drive of the season at home from their own 33-yard line. Elmhurst will go on offense to start this game behind their sophomore quarterback Orlando Hernandez, 5'10", 185 pounds, sophomore from Peoria. In the pistol formation, other starters for the Blue Jays. Daniel Bergalt is from Deerfield Beach, Florida. He's the starting running back behind Hernandez. Raises his right arm in the air, takes the snap, looks to hand off, and he does, but he's bottled up very quickly. Couple of Vikings in the area, including Kejon Joseph, the defensive end. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Blue Jays. Again from their own 33. Luke Tanaka with you as the Vikings take on the Blue Jays here at Elmhurst Field. Kalen Miller, star receiver and big playmaker for Elmhurst, split off to the near side, matched up with David Simmons, one of the top corners for the Vikings. Connor Brewer goes in motion to the far side, taking the snap. Hernandez is throw a little high of his intended target. Over on the left side, that was Gaines, the intended target for Hernandez. And Juwan Gaines has a tip right off his fingertips, a little bit high and wide, maybe a little bit excited for Hernandez here in the first game of the year. And now it sets up 3rd and long for Elmhurst. So the Blue Jays opt to run on the first play. North Park snuffs it out nicely. And now, after an incomplete pass, the Blue Jays, a long 3rd down coming. 3rd and 10 from their own 33-yard line. And Elmhurst is going to call a timeout here.
Timeout. They're first.
So Elmhurst's first timeout already here just in the first 20 seconds or so of the game on the 3rd play of the drive. Opening drive here at home, and they have to call a timeout. Certainly not what you were hoping for if you're head coach Ron. One start to the season, defeating Loras College by a score of 28-27, and a 19-point comeback in the 4th quarter to bring them back to that 28-27 victory, and then a loss at Olivet 27-13. North Park also carries a 1-1 record. Back to pass, Hernandez, a little bit of pressure, steps up into the pocket, rolls to the left, a flag on the play as he throws across his body back over the middle into a dangerous area. It's incomplete. Kalen Miller in the area. There were at least 2 or 3 Vikings there as well.
Offense, 73. Personal foul, 15 yards.
And so the face penalty on a personal foul for the Blue Jays. It'll be declined, and it's 4th down. And Elmhurst here will be forced to punt. Jim Robley, the sophomore running back from Orland Park, was lined up in the backfield that time instead of the starter, Bergalt. So that's Corey Partenheimer back to kick, number 25. Back to take this punt. Hits it into the air. A really good punt, spiraling all the way back inside the 20. taken at the 16 by a North Park returner, and there he goes. Breaks a tackle, heading towards the 50 across midfield. Into Elmhurst territory, Jordan Cantu. The freshman from Rockford, Illinois. Look at this move here. Spins and breaks a tackle and then takes it all the way into Elmhurst territory. And North Park will start their first drive of the day in plus territory after the great punt return. Really good punt by Partenheimer, but he almost out-booted the coverage. And now Elmhurst's experienced defense takes the field against, well, a senior quarterback in T.D. Conway. Conway, son of head coach for the Vikings, Mark Conway. This one handed towards the left side out of the shotgun, breaking a tackle, and there he goes. The running back's into the clear, and he is going to score. North Park on the board first. Enrique Menendez, the starting running back for North Park. First offensive play of the day for the Vikings, and he takes it for a score. Very first play from scrimmage offensively. And Menendez, who came into this game, 28 carries, 119 yards, breaks that one to the end zone. And now North Park will go for the Elmhurst already in a hole, 6-0, now awaiting the point after. Snap good, hold down, kick is up and through, and the Vikings have the lead. Not a minute into the game, 7-0. A rough start to the first home game of the year for the Blue Jays. Enrique Menendez, starting running back, has been the best rusher of the season for North Park, and he showed it there, breaking one tag, the initial contact, and then breaking it free to the near side. Now the Vikings will kick it once again away to the Blue Jays. Last year in this matchup, North Park took a victory over Elmhurst 24-14. Really, the Blue Jays had dominated the series up until really about 2014, including a 14-point win in 2013, 31-0 in 2012. North Park has really propelled the program to new heights in recent years under Mike Conway. This one bouncing all the way back from the 3-yard line. Taken by the Blue Jay returners, spun around and taken down around the 25-yard line. That was Jawan Gaines, number 83 on the return. 22-yard return sets up the Blue Jays 1st and 10 from their own 25. Starters on the offensive line for Elmhurst: Pat Walsh, the junior; Sam Rathbun, a senior; Garrett Underwood at the center position, a junior; Pat O'Sullivan, a junior right guard; and then Billy Schaefer, the right tackle for the Blue Jays. Orlando Hernandez sets up in the shotgun. 3 receivers right, 1 left. It's Miller on the far side, and the handoff comes to the near side. There is Robley cutting it to the outside and driven out of bounds by a double effort on the near side, and a flag comes in late.
Robley, the ball carrier. There's a flag on the play.
Kejon Joseph was there on the stop. And let's see where this penalty will go. Is a late flag well after Robley was driven out of bounds. Referee crew today: Jeff Curran, John Pugh, Ren Cure, Ed Pavanka, Darwin Schaefer, Tom Skill, and Glenn Jackson. And let's see what our referee Jeff Curran has to say. Personal foul on North Park. Matt DeFecchio, charged with the personal foul, puts the Blue Jays right up near midfield. 1st and 10 from their own 47. Hernandez in the pistol with Robley behind him. Miller split out to the near side, the wide receiver. Hernandez hands it off to Robley, right up the middle. He's got a hole to the 40, into plus territory, running over defenders. Robley with a nice run towards the near side. David Simmons with the stop, but not before another Elmhurst first down. Robley a little room right up the middle, and mentioned with Ron Plans, we talked to him earlier this week, and he said they're still trying to find their footing in the run game, although they do return 4 starting offensive linemen. Trying to find the right runner, maybe Robley in his physical style could be it. Hernandez has 2 receivers left and 2 right. He hands off to Robley back up the middle again, this time lunging towards the right, and he's stuffed by a pair of Vikings. Nick French, number 29, in on the stop, along with a couple of other players as well for North Park. Down to the 34-yard line of North Park. Give them 4 on the play, bring up 2nd and 6 for the Blue Jays. Playmakers for the Blue Jays, Corey Partenheimer, wide receiver, along with Kalen Miller as well. 2 wide receivers split out. Matt Brockman, the sophomore from Elmhurst, also plays receiver for the Blue Jays. So handoff right up the middle. Robley has some room, sidesteps a tackle to the left, and that was on the stop for North Park. Number 40, Sean Mava, who's an all-conference player. One of the better linebackers here in the CCIW, makes the stop, but not before a Blue Jay first down. Elmhurst starting to run the football effectively, and that is one of the keys to the game today for Elmhurst. Got to be able to run the ball effectively. It all starts up front. That's the key for the Blue Jays today. Control the line of scrimmage and get yourself some good gains on the ground to set up those passes from Hernandez, still a young sophomore. Hernandez takes the snap under center, hands off to Robley left side, has some running room. More than 10 before initial contact on Robley, and he is rolling here in the early going. Another first down for the Blue Jays.
Robley, the ball carrier once again, brought down by Dorsley, but not before he picks up 13 yards and an Elmhurst first down. 1st and 10, Blue Jays from the Vikings 15-yard line.
13 yards for Robley, and the Blue Jays in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the North Park 14. Hernandez takes the snap and will hand off to Robley again, right side. Spinning around one tackle, trying to lunge forward for a couple, and he will. Looks like a gain of 2 or so, down to the 13. Fecchio in on the stop for North Park.
Robley, the ball carrier, one more time for the Blue Jays.
Robley comes off the field to a hearty applause from the near side crowd, as he deserves. Great total so far for Robley in this game and on this drive.
Brings up a 2nd and 7.
Now Burkholdt into the game to the left of Hernandez. Partenheimer split out far left. Miller near side. Miller one-on-one with his defender, Simmons. Let's see if they go there. Instead, it'll be handoff to Burkholdt, who's tripped up by Mava on the left side of that defense for North Park. Nice play by Mava there. Trying to run it to the near side, and there you go, right, shedding that block. Billy Schaefer was on the block of Mava, but he's able to shed it and then make the stop. And it's now 3rd down and 5 for the Blue Jays from the North Park 10-yard line. First 3rd down they've had to face here in this drive. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Burkholdt behind Hernandez. He takes the snap, looks to throw near side towards Miller. He's got Miller to the 5. Simmons fighting for more yards. Miller dives towards the end zone. Not quite. David Simmons with the tackle. What a great effort by Kalen Miller trying to lunge for the end zone and fight David Simmons there. It'll be just short.
Hernandez pass complete to
He came down right by the end zone. Blue Jays, you can see, signaling for a touchdown, but either way, first and goal from the half-yard line for Elmhurst, trying to knot this game up. Bergault is the tailback. Hernandez looks like he's going to take this snap under center. Miller spread out way to the left. Hernandez takes the snap, looks back, hands off to Bergault, left, right side. Did he get in? Touchdown, Blue Jays! Blue Jays on the board here at home. An extra point away from tying this game up here early in the first. Bergault just fighting through a tackle there. Sidestepping one defender. Met by Nick French. But Bergault able to lean forward into the end zone. Now Blake Bailey out to try to complete this extra point. Extra points were tough for the Blue Jays on the road at Loris. Snap good, hold down, kick up and good. And Elmhurst has tied the score. A very nice drive by the Blue Jays.
North Park 7, Elmhurst 7.
And we're all tied up at 7. As the fight song plays for the first time this season here at Langhorse Field. Blue Jays not up the score against North Park, 7-7 now here. It's about 6 minutes into the game thus far. Elmhurst in the blues, North Park in the white. Corey Partenheimer getting set to kick this one away, handling the kickoffs today for Elmhurst. On Community Day, the opening home game. And a really nice drive, and that offensive line really made some nice holes, specifically for Jim Robley, who is starting tailback today. Jared Cantu back deep, looking for this one near the far side, and it'll be a touchback as Partenheimer just keeps it inside the pylon. And it'll be a touchback brought out to the 25.
North Park starts 1st and 10 from their own.
Now Elmhurst defensively, after allowing a touchdown on the very first play from scrimmage to Enrique Menendez, his 3rd score of the year, will now have to come back out this senior-laden defense. In the secondary, Tyler Hassman, a junior number 9, along with Tristan Bolis, a sophomore, the 2 corners. Tyler Schwartz, a senior. Sean Weatherall, a senior. Number 8, number 26, respectively, the 2 safeties. In the linebacking core, Alec DeToli, a junior from St. Charles. Andy Worsen, the senior from Michigan. And Brian Tucker, senior from California. On the linebacking core is Conway. Flicks one out to the far side. Misses his intended target. Kadarius Daniels, the freshman from Texas, his intended target. Trying to look for a screen, and Conway just hesitated a touch, and I think that threw off the timing of the route by Daniels. 2nd and 10 for Conway, a team that loves to air it out and a team that loves to score lots of points in North Park. One of the keys for them, get Conway going early, get on the scoreboard early. This one towards the near side. It's a nice breakup on the near side by this corner, Tyler Hassman. Looked good for Kupachati. But Hassman, look at that play to break it up.
Broken up by Hassman. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings.
So Kupachati was the intended receiver. But what a nice play. And now it'll be 3rd and 10 for North Park. Elmhurst defense trying to get off the field, keep the momentum. Conway back to throw, looks near side, throws, and it's complete right at the line to gain. Big hit by the safety, Weatherall, but it's going to be a little too late. A gain of 11 and a North Park first down. Just a dart thrown there by Conway. Caught in the middle of the field by Cupichetti.
Conway's pass complete to Cupichetti for 11 yards and a North Park first down.
It's Norman Cupichetti, 2 targets, 1 catch, 11 yards, and a North Park first down as they convert the 3rd and 10. And if there's a team on this field that feels more comfortable on 3rd and 10, definitely the Vikings. Conway with a big arm and a big body to go with it. This one right back up the middle. Menendez nowhere to go. Stopped right in the middle by Cam Hall, number 46. One yard for Menendez. 2nd and 9 for North Park. Elmhurst senior late in defense continues on the defensive line. Miles Carroll, the senior. Eddie Byer, another senior. And then Mike Weaver, 3 seniors. As Conway is back to throw, has a pocket, but he throws it short. Intended for Kadarius Daniels in the middle of the field. And now another 3rd down for North Park. Another chance for the Blue Jays to get off the field. The North Park offense, 47% on 3rd down this year. Elmhurst defense giving up 37%. Conway has 3 receivers to the far side, 1 near. It's Cupichetti. Already targeted him twice. Conway looks towards Cupichetti, looks for the out to the far near side. No, nothing doing. A little bit wide of Cupichetti towards the sideline. Error throw by Conway sets up a North Park punt, and the Blue Jays get off the field on 3rd down. First stop for this senior late in defense for the Blue Jays. That's going to have to be the heart and soul of this team this year as the offense, at least in the early going, tries to figure out their running game especially. Hernandez, a dual threat quarterback who did a lot of running last year.
Hosman and Gaines back deep for the Blue Jays.
Tyler Hausman, Juwan Gaines back deep. The snap is low, but handled nicely by the North Park punter. A low, wobbly punt taken by Gaines, running towards the far side to the 40, to the 45, spinning up towards the 44-yard line of the Blue Jays, and Elmhurst will have very good field position to start this now, their 3rd drive of the game, about halfway through the first quarter. Gaines opts to cut off Hausman and take that one. I think it was a smart decision.
A 30-yard punt by Santillan. Gaines
Santillan
on the return. Brings up
with the punt.
For the Blue Jays.
And now the Blue Jays set up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Hernandez takes the snap, looks to hand off to Robley, instead has to pull it out. Now Hernandez has some running room to the left side, and he's able to sidestep out of bounds. Gain of 7, and Simmons forces him out. That was almost a fumble as Hernandez, with some deep penetration into the middle, Hernandez had to pull it out quickly, and he almost lost it. But it'll take 6 yards. Up to midfield. 2nd and 4 for the Blue Jays, and that is exactly where you want to be if you're Elmhurst. 2nd and 4, 3rd and short. Let's see what the Blue Jays opt to go with here. Gonna get some good play up front for Elmhurst, as here is a keeper. It's a Wildcat play. The run taking the snap on that one was number 5 for the Blue Jays. That was Zach Campbell, backup quarterback who took the snap with Connor Brewer. And now Brewer's a little shaken up, and he's going to have to come off the field. So first time we've seen Campbell today. Hernandez coming off the field. Instead, Zach Campbell being thrown into the discussion.
Campbell was the ball carrier for the Blue Jays, tackled by Wilson on the play, but a pickup of 5 and an Elmhurst first down.
5 yards for Campbell and a first down for the Blue Jays at the North Park 45. Three receivers for Hernandez. High snap, but he controls it. Robley runs near side. Robley breaking a tackle. Robley down towards the 35. Taken down to the 36. Mava in there on the stop. But Robley once again finding some running room here. Just forcing himself through the pile. Nicely done by Robley as he gained some more for the Blue Jays. Robley has been quite the revelation for Elmhurst so far here in this game. A team that had struggled rushing the ball early this season, totaling just 92 rush yards per game. Robley, the 6', 200-pound sophomore from Orland Park, setting up in the backfield once again. Back to throw, Hernandez rolling right, looking, and it's caught. Oh, but it's dropped. Big hit on the near side by Franz Dorsley. Receiver came up, Corey Partenheimer. All right, no, it doesn't look like it was Partenheimer. It looks like player is injured. It was a little bit of a high throw, had to leap for it, and he just got leveled on the near side. And that forced the ball out at the last second. Good throw that time by Hernandez, but a really good hit defensively by Dorsley to break it up. That is number 10, Austin McKellar, the sophomore from Belmont, Michigan. And so the Blue Jays will set up now 3rd and 2. From the North Park 37-yard line. It's Robley in the backfield, Hernandez under center. 2 tight end formation for the Blue Jays. As Hernandez loses the snap, now just goes forward, trying to fall for the first down. He's going to be spotted just short, it looks like. But this is certainly the territory where you want to go for it. Look at this snap, almost slipped out of the hands of Hernandez. In fact, it did.
Hernandez on the keeper.
And Elmhurst is about a half-yard short. Gained 1.5 yards. They need a half a yard here on 4th and inches.
36-yard line.
On 4th down this season, the Blue Jays 1 of 4. Again, 2 tight ends. Hernandez. Big stacked line for North Park. Trying to plunge ahead. Hernandez stopped initially, but leans forward. Looks like they got it. Went to the left side. First initial blow you'll see is going to be bottled up, but then to the left here. Hernandez just leans his way to the left. Off of left guard, is able to lunge ahead for the first down, and the Elmhurst drive stays alive. With 9 teams now in the CCIW, you have 1 team with a bye each week. So 4 games on the docket as per usual in the conference. We'll update you on the scores from around the league here in just a bit, but first, as we have a flag here for the play. Delay of game on Elmhurst. So they'll push him back 5 yards and make it 1st and 15. And with that, number 7, Wheaton, currently 7-0. Andrew Bowers, 28-yard touchdown on the road up in Kenosha. In a very big game in the conference, Illinois Wesleyan playing host to North Central today. That game being played later tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time start. As Hernandez takes the snap on 1st and 15, looks to the far side, complete to Connor Brewer up near the 30-yard line, and they gain 10 back after losing 5. 2nd and 5 coming up. Another game later today on the CCIW scoreboard. Carroll will play their first CCIW game in some time, rejoining the conference, and they'll face Augustana in Rock Island. It'll be 2nd and 5 here from the 30. Line to gain is the 25-yard line for the Blue Jays, as Gaines and Brewer split out to the near side. Kalen Miller all alone on the far side. Ball placed to the far hash. Hernandez has Robley to his right. Takes the snap and looks to throw, and it's caught by Miller in the middle of the field. Looked to hand it off to Robley, some play action, and then he pulls it out, and Kalen Miller gets his first catch of the day, right in the middle of the field for another Elmhurst first down. Miller, the 6'1", 180-pound junior from Bolingbrook, 10 catches for 187 yards and a touchdown in the Blue Jays' first 2 games. It's been one of the key playmakers for Elmhurst, and definitely one of the keys today for the Blue Jays. Get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Whoever that is, whether it's Robley, who did a great job of running on that first drive, whether it's Kalen Miller on the outside, perhaps one of the best athletes on the field. Under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Hernandez to throw, and he has his man in the middle of the field. It's the tight end, and he's spinning towards the end zone, lunging for the line to gain. Touchdown, Blue Jays. It's Matt Brockman, the big 6'4" wide receiver, who takes it to the house. Catches it in the middle of the field and then plows through tacklers to get there. And Elmhurst has the lead here at home.
Hernandez pass complete to Brockman for 17 yards. And
just the second catch of the season for Brockman in his first touchdown of his career for the sophomore from Elmhurst. Elmhurst leads 13-7. Here's the point after, and it is up and through. 14-7. 14 unanswered points have the Blue Jays out in front.
Elmhurst 14, North Park 7.
So far for the Elmhurst defense, it's just been one big play. It was the first play from scrimmage for North Park. Other than that, North Park only 1 first down on their other drive. They'll have their third chance with the football. And Elmhurst has scored 14 points on their first couple of drives here. 2 out of their 3 drives have resulted in touchdowns. First time was a 3-and-out against North Park, but then they've gotten the offense going, and as soon as they got Robley going as the running back, that was the key for Elmhurst. Once they got Robley going, then Hernandez, some passing lanes opened up, and then on that last drive, it was a good job of Hernandez finding open targets. He found McKellar on the near side. He found Miller in the middle of the field. Partenheimer for one as well, and then Brockman plunging his way into the end zone to put Elmhurst on top. First home game of the year for the Blue Jays.
Kick away for the Blue Jays.
So the only game to follow on the CCIW scoreboard today will be Wheaton at Carthage. As I mentioned, it's still 7-0. Wheaton on top of the Redmen. This one booted away towards the near side, and this one is going to be a touchback. Partenheimer kicking with the win, no problem, taking it all the way into the end zone. And North Park will start from their own 25. 2:33 to play here in the first quarter. Elmhurst has the lead 14-7. Ron Plans, his third season as head coach of the Blue Jays, came to Elmhurst in 2014 after spending 5 seasons with Minnesota State Mankato. Also has some D3 experience. Attended Carthage College and played football for the Redmen. Blue Jays 5-5 in his first season. Now 10-12 overall, as this one is a nice run to the near side by Menendez. Enrique Menendez once again plunging ahead, and that's been the key for North Park. Their 2 big plays today in the game have come from Menendez running the ball out of the shotgun. Menendez just following his blockers, taking it to the near side all the way up to the 41 of North Park, and a first down.
First and 10 Vikings in their own 41.
For Elmhurst, lots of great playmakers, experienced players around this defense. They're going to have to find a way to bottle up Menendez. They're going to have a chance here in this game. Conway hands it off again to Menendez. Same play near side, but it's bottled up quickly by the Blue Jays. A swarm of Elmhurst players on the stop, including Miles Carroll in the area. Tyler Hossman in on the stop as well. Hit there by Weatherall. Andy Warson pulling him down.
Menendez stopped by Warson for no gain. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings.
Andy Warson, a first-team all-conference player last year as a junior at linebacker, right in the middle of that Elmhurst defense. Menendez, this time to the right side, and he's bottled up quickly. Alec Detoli in on the stop. Number 43 on the far side, a solo tackle for Detoli. Came into this game with 11 tackles, including a half tackle for loss. The senior from St. Charles makes the stop, and it's third down.
Menendez with a 2-yard gain, brought down by Detoli on the play. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
4 wide on 3rd and 8 for North Park. Conway, the tall quarterback, takes the snap, has lots of time. Now he skips away from a tackle, throws over the middle low. Did he make the catch? No, he bounces it to him, and it's incomplete. Denton Delgado in the middle of the field, and let's check it out on the replay. It was very close. Nice job by Conway to escape pressure. Steps up into the pocket and just throws it a bit too low for Delgado to get his arms under it. And North Park will be forced to punt once again.
Delgado falls incomplete. Brings up a 4th down for the Vikings.
14-7, Elmhurst on top. Less than a minute to go, first quarter. And the Blue Jay defense gets off the field once again. Hossman and Gaines back deep. And a flag is called, luckily for North Park. The snap was bobbled, and it's delay game on North Park, which will back them up 5 more yards. Santillan dropped the snap and had a couple of Blue Jays coming in on him, and perhaps it's for the better for the Vikings. That delay of game penalty was called. Gaines on the near side, Hossman on the far side. Santillan cleanly gets the snap and kicks it away. Hangs up in the wind. Hossman signaling for a fair catch, and he'll make it right around the 25-yard line. And Elmhurst will set up at their own 25 for their 4th drive of the game as we tick down here to the latter portions of the first quarter. The Blue Jays slipped to 1-1 last week following a 27-13 road loss against Olivet College from Michigan. Blue Jays offense really struggled against the Comets, just 11 first downs and 243 yards of total offense. Olivet scored the game's first 13 points and never trailed. Hernandez, Andy Warson, and Kalen Miller, the 3 big players for Elmhurst in that game. Here Hernandez has Miller split left as the wide receiver, 2 backs. Hernandez rolling to the far side. Nice block. Hernandez going deep down the field. He's got a man, but McKellar overshot him just a little bit. Austin McKellar running free behind the defense. Hernandez, a good job of rolling out. Nice block there on the backside to give Hernandez some extra time. But the pass just a little over his intended target in Austin McKellar. Kalen Miller at over 100 yards receiving. 5 passes for 139 yards, including a 65-yard touchdown. Last week against the Comets, Andy Warson, 10 tackles. Brian Tucker also finished with 10 as Hernandez at 189 yards via the air and also ran for 52. Last week in the loss against the Comets, as this is a handoff to the left side, bottled up quickly by the Vikings. Trying to skip to the outside, Robley. Nothing doing. Matthew Malo in on the stop, the sophomore from American Samoa. And that sets up the Blue Jays 3rd and 10, but we'll have to await the second quarter for that play. As the teams will switch sides. Elmhurst has the lead 14-7 after 1. You're watching Elmhurst College football on Blue Jay TV.
Elmhurst College is much more than buildings, courses, and credits. It's a supportive community of individuals who are committed to helping you reach your full potential. But don't take my word for it.
I visited a lot of schools, but when I came here, it was just like, I'm home.
As soon as I walked on campus, I felt like I could dive right in and get involved.
Getting involved is easy, especially in class. The average class here has just 17 students.
Every faculty and staff here just wants me to like succeed.
I can go up to them, and it's not just office hours. Like, I'm here from 10:30 to 11:30. It's actually like, whenever you need help, my door's open.
There's a real connection that takes place. I'm frequently asked, what do I teach? I never say music. I teach people. Music's the vehicle.
It was great to see that rather than just teaching textbook material, they're actually giving you some industry insight.
I'm a vocalist. I'm out in the clubs performing. I'm touring in Europe and performing. So they see how their life can transition into that.
A lot of my friends from other universities, they don't get to be a part of undergraduate research, professional development at such an early stage.
They're truly there to help you and to build you and to make sure that you are amazing.
And at Elmhurst, you can be amazing all around, including on the field. Football is just one of 20 Division III sports.
We went straight to the Final Four of the nation, and that was a great way to come in and start off the season.
They're there because they're motivated to, they want to be a good team, they want to be a good player.
Wrestling wasn't my life. I was able to go out and do a lot of different activities and get involved on campus.
We are allowed to be students, and we can be involved in a lot of other things.
How do you want to get involved? You'll have your choice at Elmhurst.
Our campus has over 100 clubs and organizations.
Whatever you want to do, there's something here for you to do.
Concert choir, the wind ensemble, gospel choir,
Habitat for Humanity, Global Poverty Club.
I'm an orientation student leader, SGA, Best Buddies.
Greek life at Elmhurst College is really focused on leadership and discovering who you really are.
To be part of all these different organizations and get to know all these amazing people is why I love Elmhurst.
You can also get to know the world beyond the campus. Elmhurst offers study abroad opportunities in 44 countries.
I studied abroad in Granada,
Holland, Germany,
El Salvador, Israel and Palestine, Costa Rica,
Czech Republic.
Back at home, you'll enjoy all the advantages of our great location. Downtown Elmhurst is just a short walk from campus, and the Metro train will take you to the world-class city of Chicago in just 30 minutes. When it comes to career preparation, we've got you covered. Elmhurst will connect you with the people and the experiences you need to reach your full potential.
Elmhurst allows you to grow into the knowing, and I appreciate that there's a journey that we encourage. It's not just in one program or one department, it's threaded throughout everything that we do.
Elmhurst College pushes you to truly find who you are as a person and as a professional.
They will make sure no matter what your interests are, what your career path is, that there's going to be a resource on campus that is going to help you find that potential and then reach it.
Back at Langhorse Field, second quarter coming up, and the Blue Jays face a 3rd and 10 right out of the break. Luke Tanaka with you as Elmhurst leads North Park 14-7 after one quarter. Hernandez with split backs. Kalen Miller split out deep right now. Brewer goes in motion to the far side. Hernandez can't handle the snap. Mava misses the tackle. Now Hernandez trying to run for it, and he is hit at about the 35-yard line, and there's a mess in the area. North Park saying they have the football. But they say Hernandez was down. Forward progress stopped, and it'll be a first down for Elmhurst. Elmhurst able to pick it up all the way down to the 35. Hernandez really evades disaster there as he bobbled the snap, and Sean Mava, the all-conference linebacker, was barreling in on him. Makes Mava miss, and then goes all the way for a first down, and that's what Orlando Hernandez brings. He has very deceptive speed out there at the quarterback position. 1st and 10 here, plunging ahead Robley. And he's at the bottom of that pile. It was actually Daniel Bergault on the carry. Or excuse me, the third stringer, Ben Holloway from Galesburg, Illinois. And the Blue Jays will shuffle a whole bunch of running backs in there, but that was Holloway, number 24. So excuse me on that one on the carry. And he gains 3 yards, 2nd and 7, as it's now Zach Campbell running a quarterback keeper to the near side. So we've seen Campbell now twice, and he's given the Blue Jays a bit of a wildcat look, taking direct snaps, following Connor Brewer to the near side. Forced out, sets up 3rd and short for Elmhurst. In their own territory.
After a pickup of 4 yards, it's 3rd and 2 for the Blue Jays.
3rd and a long 2 for Elmhurst. Campbell still in the game at quarterback. Campbell takes the snap, looks to hand off to Brewer. Instead, he'll follow him as a blocker, sidesteps the tackle, lunges ahead. He's close, and it's going to be a very tight spot. Lunging towards the 44, and they will get it. First down for the Blue Jays as Campbell follows Brewer, sidesteps that tackle. A big sidestep there by Campbell as Padamo So, the freshman from Hawaii, makes the tackle. Number 98 for North Park, but not before Elmhurst just converts for a first down. We've seen 3 different looks on the 3 different drives so far by the Blue Jays. First one was all Jim Robley, power running straight ahead. Second was more of Orlando Hernandez through the air. Now we've seen Zach Campbell and Hernandez running, as this one is a blitz from North Park and a well-timed run blitz that stops the ball carrier quick. That was Holloway. DeFecchio in on the stop, along with Kejon Joseph as well. Gain a couple of feet. Call it 2nd and 9. Hernandez with a hard count. Now looks to reset. Robley this time straight up the middle, and he plunges ahead towards plus territory. He'll gain to the North Park 48. And this is what Robley brings, just straight ahead, physical running. And Ron Plain said that their key this year for the Blue Jays is that physicality. They love it on the defensive side, and perhaps that's what's going to get the running game going on the offensive side, is that physicality that perhaps Robley brings to the table. Robley certainly would be the biggest running back. 6 foot 200. He outmatches Bergolt 5'8", 175, and Holloway 5'9", 185 by at least 15 pounds and a couple of inches. Robley to the left of Hernandez. Looks to throw. Not really close. Not sure where his intended target was. Hernandez just fired that one up.
Incomplete. Brings up a 4th down.
Looks like he could have been trying to hit number 17 for Elmhurst, Justin Ward, but he overshot him by a ways, and so Elmhurst will be forced to punt here from just on the North Park side of midfield.
Cantu back deep for the Vikings.
Cantu back deep. Finucane on to punt. Finucane boots it in the air. It's a good one, ranging towards the 10-yard line, and Cantu fair catches. Just in front of the 10, right at the North Park 13-yard line, and the Elmhurst defense will set up with the North Park offense inside their own 15. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of Elmhurst College Football. I'm Luke Tanaka.
And a fair catch by the Vikings.
As the Blue Jays open up CCIW play 1 week early this year with the addition of a 9th team in the conference, the North Park unit, the Carroll University joining the CCIW this season. And so now 9 teams in the conference means a rotating bye, with 8 teams playing each week. As Conway takes the snap here, looks for the pass to Daniels on the far side, trying to get the edge, and Daniels does, lunges ahead, and dives for a couple of extra yards. Daniels has been one of the key receivers for this North Park team so far. 23 catches for 234 yards and 2 scores. And perhaps that's one of the ways they like to use him. 5'8", 175, so certainly not the biggest receiver that North Park has. But out of the backfield, he could be a very speedy guy, whether you want to hand it off to him or whether you just want to get him out in space. That's the key. Hand off to the near side, and a big running hole for a couple for North Park runner. That's Leandre Spearman, the sophomore from O'Fallon, Illinois, giving North Park a little bit more breathing room away from their own end zone and bring it all the way up past the 35 to the 38.
Spearman, the ball carrier for the Vikings, picks up 18 yards and a first down. Tackled by Schwartz on the play. 1st and 10 Vikings.
Conway throws near side, and it's caught. into Elmhurst territory. On the receiving end, Hunter Hinkle, the sophomore from Valparaiso, Indiana. Hinkle's 10th catch of the year puts North Park into Elmhurst territory. 1st and 10 from the Elmhurst 37. And that's what Conway can bring, one of the better quarterbacks, at least pocket quarterbacks in the CCIW. Conway, I was told he idolizes Ben Roethlisberger as Spearman comes to the near side, and he is driven to the turf by a trio of Blue Jays. Andy Warson in there on the initial hit. Cleaning it up with him, Tyler Hussman as well, and Sean Weatherall. Jumping on the pile, Alec Totoli as well.
Picks up 2 yards, tackled by Warson and Weatherall on the play.
Under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Elmhurst still leading 14-7. Scored touchdowns on 2 of their first 4 offensive drives. This is the 4th for North Park. Conway in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to throw, near side, lifts it up into an area, nobody's home. Perhaps a miscommunication with Hunter Hinkle. As Hinkle cut towards the inside, and I think Conway thought it might be a streak or a go route. That's what he threw, or perhaps a fade to the sideline. And now it's going to be 3rd and 8, and it's right in that territory where you have to imagine this is 2-down territory for North Park. Wouldn't be surprised to see Spearman take a handoff here. Third and 8. Conway takes the snap, looks left. It's a deep ball to the far side, and it is caught with a flag as well. Conway dropped that ball right into his intended target. Look at this throw by Conway. Tristan Bolus on the defense. He just bumped him right on the end there, at the end of the play there as the ball came in, and Cupichetti with a really nice diving catch here. Check the catch out right there. Bolus on the defense, and that's going to be pass interference. It's declined, and it'll be a first down in the red zone for North Park here.
Conway's pass complete to Spearman for 25 yards.
So it's Cavante Spearman, actually, not Cupichetti, who makes the catch.
Sets up 1st and goal for the Vikings from the Elmhurst 10-yard line.
First and goal from the 5 for North Park. Conway takes a snap, hands off to Menendez, left side. Bottled up at first, trying to move the pile, but Elmhurst has none of it. Staying inbounds towards the left side. 8.5 minutes as 6 or 7 Blue Jays in on the stop. Ball at the 4.5 here.
Menendez stopped by Schwartz on the play for no gain. 2nd and goal for the Vikings.
2nd and goal. Conway fakes the handoff. Wide open in the end zone. He dropped it. Cupichetti wide open in the end zone. And he can't quite haul it in. Right through his hands. The play action fake really fooled the far side corner Tyler Hausman. Cupichetti open in the end zone, but it sets up 3rd and goal after the drop. And if North Park can't get in the end zone here, those are the plays you think about for a whole week as you await your next game. But North Park still with another opportunity. It's 3rd and goal from the 4. It's a pitch to Daniels on the near side. Nowhere to go, but he spins away from one tackle, and he's driven to the turf on the near side. Perot Charles cleans him up. And the Blue Jays get off the field on defense once again. Initial hit by Cam Hall, but then driven to the turf by Charles. And Santillion will come out.
A loss of 5 on the play.
Loss of 5 on the play. Once again, just trying to get that playmaker Daniels in some space, but the Blue Jay defense read it very well. One of those plays you see on film and you see as an experienced defense. A 27-yard field goal attempt here. Snap a little bit wide. Hold is down. The kick is up, and it is good. And North Park does cash in with 3, but Elmhurst keeps the Vikings out of the end zone and holds the lead. It's 14-10. Now in favor of the Blue Jays here at home at Langhorse Field.
North Park 10.
Today's game, the 54th meeting between Elmhurst and North Park in football. And Elmhurst leads the all-time series 39-12. There are also 2 ties. And the series dates back all the way to 1960 when North Park took the first 2 games of the series. And it was 2 very different games in 1960 and 1961. 40-0 North Park in 1960, and then North Park 7, Elmhurst 6 in 1961. The Blue Jays have dominated the series as of late, winning every game from 2001 all the way through 2014. Falling last year to the Vikings on the road in Chicago for the first time since 2000. Santillan getting set to kick this one away. It's in the air from left to right, and this one kicked hard into the air, and Gaines drops it right at the 13, and now he tries to take it to the near side, has some running room. Gaines spins to the outside to the 35-40. Hit hard, but still on his feet to the 45 and lunging towards the 50. What a return by Jawan Gaines. The freshman from Villa Park showing off why he's in there in the return game. Making an electric play to set up the Blue Jays with good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 46. 35-yard return, and the Blue Jays have 1st and 10. 5th drive of the day for Elmhurst. It's Orlando Hernandez. Play action to the far side. It's a little behind Brewer. Very close to a backward pass there. It looked like it was thrown forward, but Brewer looked like he didn't quite lead Brewer to the ball. Instead, it was a little behind him. Skipped out of bounds regardless. Now Elmhurst 2nd and 10. One of the officials, I think, was signaling that that was a lateral. Other officials signaling otherwise. It looked like a forward pass. It was very close, but I didn't think it was a lateral as Hernandez takes the snap, pulls it out of the belly of Robley, has lots of time to throw, now under pressure, rolls to the far side and throws it behind Kalen Miller, his intended target. Hernandez on the run that time. Couple of Vikings applying pressure, including number 51, Mark Momola, and number 9, Uli Latuli. And now it's 3rd and 10 for Elmhurst, a spot where the Blue Jays definitely do not like to be in those 3rd and 10 situations. Like to have options. Hernandez throwing the ball twice on 1st and 2nd down. Now faces 3rd and 10. Robley, the running back. Hernandez takes the snap, looks towards the right, steps up into the pocket, throws it deep to the right side short of the first down marker. It's caught by McKellar. McKellar, the sophomore, makes the catch, but it's only a gain of 3, well short of the first down. Nice catch by McKellar on the far side. And a little conservative there on 3rd and 10. It'll actually be a gain of 2, 4th and 8, and Corey Partenheimer is on for this punt. Partenheimer also a receiver for the Blue Jays, but does the punting, or some of the punting as well, along with Tom Finucane. Cantu back deep for North Park. Partenheimer takes a good snap and gets the punt away. A booming kick towards the far sideline. And it'll go out inside the 20. Another nice punt for Partenheimer, rolling the referee all the way to the North Park 17-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will set up, trailing by 4 here in Elmhurst. Mike Conway is in his 4th season as head coach of North Park. Came to the Vikings after 11 seasons as an assistant in at California University in Pennsylvania. He was formerly the head coach at Olivet Nazarene University, where he posted a 31-14 record over 4 years. Overall at North Park, a 40-37 record as a head coach, and that is really remarkable what Conway has done with this North Park program. And it's a delay of game. So 5 more yards back, and now instead of the 17, it'll be the 12. And make it the 13, where North Park will start this drive. This one a handoff to Spearman, left side, nowhere to go. Quickly bottled up, looked like Tyler Schwartz. Daniels in motion to the near side, but they hand it off to Spearman, and Schwartz, the safety, right there.
Tackled by Schwartz on the play. Correction, tackled by Carroll on the play. No gains. 2nd and 15.
Miles Carroll actually on the D-line made the stop, and it looks like we're going to have another penalty on the Vikings. Maybe a false start. There's also some movement on the Elmhurst left side of the defensive line. And it's a false start on the Vikings, pushing him back. Even deeper towards their own end zone. This one at the 7. 2nd down and 17. Conway back to throw, looks over the middle, incomplete. Intended on the slant pattern for Denton Delgado. Quick hitter that time, it looked like from Conway, but just a little bit out in front of his intended target, and now 3rd and a long way for the Vikings. I was talking about Mike Conway and the job he's done with this program, North Park, and back especially in that 2012 season, you remember the Vikings taking on Elmhurst, and it was a 31-0 win. But if you just look at the stats against Elmhurst and the stats against the conference, North Park had struggled mightily against the conference for a long time. Conway looks to throw right near the 1st down marker, high, intended for Daniels. And that'll set up a North Park punt from their own end zone. Under 5 minutes to play now. The Blue Jays should get very good field position here, already leading 14-10 over North Park.
Intended originally for Daniels, brings up a 4th and 20. Santillan on the punt.
The CCIW football poll, North Park picked 6th in the preseason. Elmhurst picked 9th as the punt is away. Gaines will let it bounce. What a punt. Gaines might have been better served to take that as a fair catch. He would have been in plus territory. Instead, takes a very good North Park hop and goes all the way down to the Elmhurst 42-yard line. A nice punt by Santillan. Sets up the Blue Jays back in their own end. But still, pretty solid field position for the Blue Jays to start this drive. In the preseason football poll in the CCIW, Wheaton picked to win it, just 1 point and 1 first-place vote ahead of North Central. Illinois Wesleyan and then Carthage 3-4, Augustana 5, North Park 6, Carroll 7, Milliken 8, Elmhurst 9, But the Blue Jays can certainly put a wrench into that. They can complete a victory here. Hernandez steps up into the pocket. He's got some running room. Past midfield, down towards the North Park 45. That just shows what Orlando Hernandez can do with his feet. Steps up into the pocket.
With the keeper, scrambles for 12 yards.
And as I mentioned, that deceptive speed, that deceptive quickness. His quick feet really help him evade tackles. First down for the Blue Jays at the North Park 46. Hernandez, a 5'10", 185-pound sophomore from Peoria, coming into the game, completing 53% of his passes, 30 for 56, 344 yards, 4 TDs, 4 picks. Looks to throw short to Robley on the far side. It's a couple of yards before being forced out of bounds by Matthew Malo, number 44. Forced out at the 44-yard line. Second down.
After a short pickup of 2 yards, thrown out of bounds by Maiello.
Call it second and a short 8 for Elmhurst. Gaines lined up to the near side. Miller all alone to the far side, matched up with David Simmons. Hernandez takes the snap. Flag on the play. Hands off to Robley to the right side. Looks to the 45. Offsides on the Vikings. Neutral zone infraction will repeat second down. And it should be 2nd and 3 here after the penalty. 2nd and a short 3. Second and a short 3. Hernandez, hands off to Robley, nowhere to go. Mava in on the stop. Right around the legs of Robley. As soon as he got the ball, he had Sean Mava draped all over him. Nicely done. All right, the all-conference linebacker from Samoa. He's a junior. One of the leaders of this defense, a very young North Park team. In fact, just one senior in the starting lineup. It's Franz Dorsley, the corner from Florida. Ticking down to about 2 minutes to go here in the opening half. As Hernandez pulls it straight out, goes straight ahead. Hernandez skips around one tackler to the 30, and another Elmhurst first down. As the Blue Jays convert yet another third down. Nice play there by Hernandez on the option to keep it. Both defenders went with Robley, and Hernandez finds a big hole up the middle. Under 2 minutes to play now. Elmhurst looking to get some more points here heading into the locker room. 1st and 10 from the North Park 29. 3 receivers and 1 back. It's Robley to Hernandez's left. Hernandez takes the snap, hands off Robley, right side, breaks one tackle, and he gets pulled by his shirt from behind. It's like number 44 in on the stop, Malo again.
Picks up 7 yards on the carry.
Couple of North Park players in the vicinity. Gijon Joseph as well around the legs of Robley. And the key for him has been breaking that initial contact. Lots of yards after contact. Blitz coming from the left. A nice block by the Blue Jays. Robley gets around one tackle looking for the sideline. Not a whole lot of room to run. Forced out of bounds on the near side. Let's see where they spot it here. Right at the 20, so it'll be 3rd and 1 for Elmhurst from the North Park 20. Robley going out of bounds smartly.
From the Vikings 20-yard line.
53 seconds remaining. Robley comes out of the game, surprisingly, the bruiser. Instead, it'll be Connor Brewer in the backfield. And Brockman, the tall target, heads out to the right. They will look to throw, and Hernandez misfires. Zach Campbell, the backup quarterback, came into the game and looked to be a receiver, and the ball just tipped off the edge.
Al Brinkmeyer, please report to the sideline. Al Brinkmeyer, please report to Paul Crone on the sideline.
And now it looks like the Blue Jays are going to try to go for it here. I don't see a field goal unit out. 49.6 seconds to go, and Hernandez is lining up under center. See if they try to draw him off site here. They do have a couple of timeouts. They do not. They just hand off to Robley right back up the middle, and he gains the first down. And now timeout will be called by the Blue Jays. Robley to the left. They trust their 6', 200-pound back, and he takes it left guard for a first down. 1st and 10 from the 17 after the timeout. Robley has had a very, very good first half. He really keyed Elmhurst's first scoring drive. They fed him early and often. The 44.7 seconds to go in the half. Elmhurst threatening, regardless of whether they can get in the end zone. They should be able to get points here on this drive. Although kicking has been a bit of a struggle for the Blue Jays early in the season. They've looked good on the 2 PATs today. Blake Bailey has only hit 1 field goal so far this season, a 25-yarder. Checking in on the CCIW scoreboard. Still 7-0 Wheaton, so that Carthage defense is really holding up. Number 7 Wheaton being held right now to just 5 rushing yards against Carthage. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays from the 17. Hernandez back to throw, looking for it all, and it is caught on the far side for a touchdown. Connor Brewer, his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. Hernandez with a beautiful throw, drops it in. Blue Jay touchdown, and they lead by 10 pending the point after. One of the best throws we've seen from Orlando Hernandez in his young career. Bailey on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up. It is good. And the Blue Jays lead the North Park Vikings right now 21-10 here at home.
So with 38 seconds to go in the
38 seconds to go in the first half. Hernandez with a beauty to Connor Brewer on a fade route to the back pylon. We've seen Hernandez a little bit of struggle here and there making throws, especially those short throws to the outside, but man, Hernandez there, dropping a dime right into the awaiting hands of Connor Brewer, who was said early in the season that Connor Brewer would be a jack of all trades for this Blue Jay team. He would carry the ball, he would line up as a receiver. Who knows, you may even see him in the Wildcat, although we've seen Zach Campbell in that role today, but you can see all sorts of different ways to get Connor Brewer involved, and, well, there's one of them through the air, and that's been the key. Coming into this game, 9 receptions, 61 yards, 3 touchdowns. There's another touchdown for Brewer. And Connor Brewer, a big part of this offensive production for the Blue Jays, and we've also seen Jim Robley. 2 running backs, not necessarily listed on the depth chart, but 2 guys who have played huge roles here in this first half. Elmhurst will kick it away. Cantu is back deep. Corey Partenheimer set to boot it away for Elmhurst. Blue Jays leading by 11, 38.7 seconds to go. Kick is away, a line drive by Partenheimer. Cantu from the 9 takes it straight up the middle. And Andy Warson right there on special teams for the initial hit. And a swarm of Blue Jays takes him down. 29 seconds to go. Let's see if North Park tries something via the air here with less than 30 seconds to go. Or if they'll take this into the locker room and talk about it. They do have the arm in TD Conway to go down the field quickly. Their field goal kicking game has been solid early in the season. Conway hands off to the left side, and it's Menendez. He lost the ball. He lost the football. Warson picks it up. Warson to the 20. Warson to the 15. And the Blue Jays have another chance to score again. Andy Warson with the recovery. Forced out by Sean Weatherall. Warson looked like he might go all the way. He's just tripped up. Sean Weatherall gets the forced fumble. Andy Warson picks it up. Elmhurst with a chance to score again. What a big play. Instead of taking it to the locker room, the Blue Jay defense comes up with a turnover and a chance to extend the lead further. Enrique Menendez, who scored the touchdown for North Park early in the game, now fumbles, and the Blue Jays have 17 seconds and one timeout. 1st and 10 from the 17. 1 second on the play clock. Hernandez gets it off. They throw to the far side. Open receiver. Touchdown, Blue Jays. Brockman makes the catch. The big 6'4", 215 sophomore.
Hernandez pass completes to Brockman.
Brockman on the far side. Another dime by Hernandez. And the turnover leads to yet another score. And the Blue Jays with this PAT, if they can make it, will match their highest offensive output on the season in the first half. Bailey on to attempt it. And it is good, and the Blue Jays with 28 points have matched their season high through just 30 minutes today.
The score now, Elmhurst 28.
High fives all around. Elmhurst 28, North Park 10. .28 points is the most, besides that Loris game earlier this season, that the Blue Jays have scored since week 3 of last season. On the road against Simpson, 31 points for the Blue Jays there. 28 against Illinois Wesleyan here in Elmhurst last season as well. 28 points for the Blue Jays in the first half. What a half for Elmhurst offensively. And the big play on defense as well. Weatherall with the forced fumble on Menendez. Andy Warson picks it up, goes down to the 17, then a 17-yard strike from Orlando Hernandez. Puts the Blue Jays out in front by 18 with 11 seconds to go here in the opening half. Corey Partenheimer set to kick this one away. Cantu back deep. With just 11 seconds to go now. Take a big return for North Park to even think about something. Partenheimer drills it in the air towards the far sideline. It'll go out of bounds. Kicks it into the wind in the air, and Partenheimer hits it out of bounds. So North Park will take it at the 35 And now you have to imagine Conway's taking a knee here. North Park just trying to stop the bleeding, get back to the locker room, and talk about this half. It's been all Elmhurst here in this half. They have not trailed. The last tie was 7-7, and North Park sets up to take a knee. Conway under center, and he does, and that'll take us to halftime. Blue Jays out in front, 28-10, as we tick down the final seconds. Elmhurst fans on their feet on the near side. In the home opener, the Blue Jays take an 18-point lead to the locker room. And really on the different offensive drives, it was different players and different schemes even. The Blue Jays really showed a lot here in the first half. They showed Jim Robley running the ball on their first touchdown drive. After Robley's really effective running, they went to Hernandez throwing the ball. He was very effective throwing the ball on their second drive. And we saw Zach Campbell running a little bit of wildcat. Hernandez, more of a running aspect on their third long touchdown drive. And then, of course, the big defensive play. And that set up the final touchdown. Hernandez throwing two very good balls. He struggled a bit in that first half, misfiring on a couple of short dink and dunk passes, but those two balls are exactly why he's in the game. Make those big plays for the Blue Jays, using his legs and then using his arm for two touchdowns. Really nicely done by Hernandez on both of those touchdown strikes, as Elmhurst takes a 28-10 lead into the half. And now we are going to have a ceremony here. It is Community Day here in Elmhurst, and today we are going to celebrate Al Brinkmeyer, 1976 grad of Elmhurst College and a longtime community activist and supporter of the college. He's been a member of the Board of Trustees since 1996. You see him right there in the middle of your screen wearing the number 58. We're going to hear a little bit over the PA system as well. He's a letter winner in football and golf during his days as a student at Elmhurst. One of the founding members of the Blue Jay Backers, and assisted with the planning of the first Blue Jay Backer golf outing, now an annual tradition here at Elmhurst. He continues to be a part of the group's executive board. He also, if you can believe this, composed the college's fight song, which has been played 4 times here today in a 28-10 lead for the Blue Jays. He also serves in the local Elmhurst community in a variety of organizations as well. Spent 7 years as a board member of the Elmhurst swim team, including 3 years as the president. Also many youth sports, and overall just a...
He is also the composer of the Elmhurst fight song that you've heard several times so far today. Additionally,
Brinkmeyer holding that 31 jersey.
Since 1995, he has served as a commissioner on the City of Elmhurst Zoning and Planning Commission.
Today honoring their Community Service Award annually. The Blue Jays here at Elmhurst College, Blue Jay Backers, present that annual award. And it's Al Brinkmeyer.
Paul Crone, and the president of the Blue Jay Backers, John Quigley. Joining them on the field are Al's family and previous Community Service Award winners Bill Gooch, Jeannie Urich, and Daryl Whistler. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for this year's Community Service Award winner, Al Brinkmeyer.
Al Brinkmeyer, this year's Community Service Award winner. 1976 alum and longtime community activist, supporter of Elmhurst College. Congrats to Al, and now we will take a break here on Blue Jay TV. We're going to come back for the second half. We'll come back a little early, give you some stats from the half, recap the scoring, and get you set for the second half of action right here. It's Elmhurst 28, North Park 10 at the half.
Have you heard of the Elmhurst Heritage Foundation? Its purpose is to provide support through advocacy, education, and fundraising for the Elmhurst History Museum, our local Elmhurst history, and the Churchville one-room schoolhouse. Established in 2007 as a nonprofit organization, we initiated an endowment fund and raised funds to complete the renovation of the historic Churchville schoolhouse. We conducted a capital campaign to develop the new exhibit by all accounts, the story of Elmhurst at the History Museum, and we continue to provide financial support to enhance exhibits, programs, and events at the museum. Yes, we feel strongly about our mission and encourage you to become a member or donor of the Elmhurst Heritage Foundation. Please call or go to our website for more information to learn about the benefits of becoming a member or donor by investing in our town, our history, our heritage.
Second half coming up between the North Park Vikings and the Elmhurst College Blue Jays from Langhorse Field. Luke Tanaka with you. The Blue Jays ran out to a 28-10 lead after a half. Let's check in at how it happened. Started off actually very well for the North Park Vikings. They got a 3-and-out out of the Blue Jays right out of the gate as Elmhurst took the opening kick. But Enrique Menendez then came, and just less than a minute into the game, a big punt return for the Vikings, and then Menendez, a one-play, 43-yard drive, 43-yard touchdown for Menendez, put North Park up 7-0. Then the Blue Jays came down. A lot of great running in that drive by Jim Robley, who has averaged 5.1 yards per carry, 14 carries, 71 yards, and he capitalized, did the Blue Jays, on a Daniel Bergolt 1-yard run to tie the score at 7. Next, it was Brockman, Matt Brockman, who had 2 catches for 34 yards and 2 scores, as Brockman caught a pass from Orlando Hernandez as the passing lane started to open up for the Elmhurst quarterback on that third drive of the day. 17-yard pass to Brockman from Hernandez puts the Blue Jays up 14-7. Then a Santillan field goal from North Park pulled them within 14-10, but 2 more touchdowns by the Blue Jays. 39 seconds to go. Connor Brewer catches a pass from Orlando Hernandez. A beautiful strike from Hernandez. Then on the first play from scrimmage on the next North Park drive, Menendez fumbles. And the Blue Jays recover. Warson takes it back to the North Park 17. Very next play, Hernandez, another 17-yard strike. 3 touchdown passes for Hernandez, all 3 of them 17 yards. And it's Brockman again who catches his second touchdown of the game. T.D. Conway just 4 for 13 in the first half for 73 yards. Orlando Hernandez 8 for 16, 87 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jim Robley 14 carries, 71 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. Orlando Hernandez 6 carries for 40. Zach Campbell 3 for 12. On the receiving end, Matt Brockman, as I mentioned, 2 catches, 34 yards, 2 scores. Connor Brewer, 2 catches, 26 yards and a score. Kalen Miller, also a pair of catches, 23 yards so far, as the ball is blown off the tee, and we'll have to wait a little bit longer for this kickoff. On the North Park side, Enrique Menendez, 7 carries, 65 yards, 1 touchdown, but the lost fumble as well. And 43 out of those 65 yards came on just 1 play, his 43-yard touchdown run. Cavante Spearman has also carried 3 times, 20 yards, but 18 of them came on 1 carry, as Bartenheimer's kick is away, taken by Cantu at the North Park 2-yard line, trying to cut to the near side. And he's bottled up right past the 30-yard line by a couple of Blue Jays. And Elmhurst defense back out on the field here, leading by 18. Receiving, Spearman 1 catch for 30 yards, Hinkle 1 for 25. Cupichetti also has 1 catch for 11, and then Kadarius Daniels 1 catch for 7. Sean Maiva with 8 total tackles to lead the Vikings. Andy Warson with 4 to lead the Blue Jays. Conway looks to throw near side. Tight coverage on Cupichetti, and it's incomplete, as Cupichetti tried to run through the defender, Tyler Hussman. Hussman had good position, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Conway's pass intended for Cupichetti, broken up by Hussman.
Totals for the team, 16 first downs for the Blue Jays, just 6 for North Park. Elmhurst rushing 27 carries, 131 yards. They came into this game averaging just 92 yards per game. They had 131 yards rushing in that first half. North Park 12 for 78. As Conway back to throw, finds a man in the middle of the field, and he is driven to the turf. Turner catches over the middle. Tackle made by Brian Tucker, number 51, and delivered the hit. Actually, it was Tyler Schwartz who delivered the hit. Tucker was in the area. As you saw there, it was Schwartz. Now it's 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings. 2 backs and 3 receivers with Conway. Daniels comes in motion to the near side. Conway fakes a handoff, looks to throw, and it's way over his intended target. Perhaps tried to audible to another call there. Hinkle was the intended target, but it was not close. And there's a flag on the play as well. Ineligible man downfield on North Park. So they'll back him up. It'll be 3rd down again. Instead of opting for 4th and 1, they'll opt for 3rd and 6. Conway back to throw, looks near side, long throw to the near side for Cupichetti, almost intercepted. Right into the awaiting arms, but he went right through his fingertips. Tristan Bolis on the coverage. Bolis had it fall right into his lap, but he couldn't quite hold on, and North Park will be forced to punt.
4th and 6 for the Vikings.
Passing yards in that first half. 87 for the Blue Jays, 73 for North Park, and that's a stat you would find hard to believe in the way that North Park usually runs their offense. This Elmhurst defense has played a very, very good opening 30 minutes. Hit to the far side, takes it. Elmhurst bounce and is out right in between the 35 and the 40. Call it the 37-yard line, which is where Elmhurst will start their first drive of the second half. 3rd down conversions, 2 of 6 for North Park, 4 of 9 for the Blue Jays, and now 2 of 7 for the Vikings. Here's a stat to look at the possession time, 20 minutes and 34 seconds of possession for the Blue Jays, as they just dominated the time of possession. North Park 5 penalties, Elmhurst just 1 for 5 yards. North Park 36 yards worth of penalties in that first half. Now Elmhurst sets up for their first drive of the second half. Leading by 18. The handoff is to Robley near side. He breaks one tackle and is hit hard to the turf by Brandon Dominski, number 44. Shoulder shimmies him to the ground. Robley there in on the carry.
Brought down by French on the play.
French also in the area as he had Robley down by the waist. And Dominski had the finishing blow. 2nd down and 9 for the Blue, or 2nd down and 1, excuse me, after a gain of 9. Hernandez hands off once again. Robley gets the first down and plunges past midfield. Dominski once again in on the stop. Or excuse me, that is Matthew Milo.
Picks up 5 yards and an Elmhurst first down. Tackled by Momola and Maiello on the play. 1st and 10 Elmhurst.
51, Momola had a chance as well at it. 4 receivers now for Hernandez and 1 back. Opening minutes of this second half. Hernandez stepping up to the pocket, looking deep down the field, has Brewer, and did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Connor Brewer hauls it in. Red zone opportunity for the Blue Jays, who were 4 of 4 in the red zone. All touchdowns in that first half. Connor Brewer makes an outstanding catch on the near sideline.
Hernandez pass complete to Connor Brewer for 37 yards and an Elmhurst first down.
Really good coverage, I thought, by the North Park corner, but Brewer just went up and took it. Robley, the tailback. Miller split out to the near side all alone. It's a designed run for Hernandez. Sidesteps one tackle, hit hard down to the turf right around the 10. So a gain of maybe a couple. Couple of players in on the stop there for North Park, including Milo. Seems to be in the middle of everything. Linebacker from American Samoa. Regal, the defensive end, in there as well, the junior from Bourbonnais. Gain of 2 sets up 2nd and 8 from the North Park 10. Hernandez back to throw again, looks towards the middle, and it is caught for the touchdown by Brewer. Connor Brewer makes the catch. Not sure who exactly he was targeting. You'll see 2 receivers in the area. Gaines came into the vicinity, and then Brewer ended up making the catch. It's the 5th receiving touchdown of the season for Connor Brewer, his 2nd on the day today. Elmhurst offense clicking on all cylinders. What a catch by Brewer, getting his arms under that one along the turf. PAT is up, and it is good from Bailey, 5 of 5 today, as Elmhurst takes a 35-10 lead.
Elmhurst 35, North Park 10.
Elmhurst hasn't scored this many points since, I believe, the 2014 season. The last time the Blue Jays scored this many points, 49 against Carthage in Kenosha on October 11th, 2014, and that was, I believe, a double overtime game, triple overtime game that the Blue Jays won 49-42. As you check out that last touchdown one more time, Gaines thought it was intended for him, but it looked like on the crossing pattern it was Brewer on the shallow out, and once again Connor Brewer showing his ability in the passing game as Hernandez throws his 4th touchdown of the game. By far a season high for Hernandez, and one of the best performances in the red zone we've seen from this Blue Jay team in some time. This one drilled deep. Cantu takes it in the end zone going backwards, and he'll be forced to take a knee. And it'll bring it out to the North Park 25, which is where the Vikings will set up shop.
Hardenheimer's kickoff down in the end zone for a touchback. North Park will start 1st and 10 from their own 25.
There's a team in the CCIW that can come back and this kind of score. The way the Vikings throw the football, you have to imagine that they are one of those teams. But the Blue Jay defense has been very, very stout today. Here's Menendez, big hole up the middle towards the 30, past the 35 to the 40. 15-yard gain for Menendez. North Park will go no huddle here.
15, tackled by Schwartz and Warson on the play. 1st and 10, North Park from their own 40.
Last year, Orlando Hernandez threw 2 total touchdowns in 5 games, and today he has 4, just over 30 minutes. Here's a run to the right side. Menendez takes it. Gain of a couple. Sets up 2nd and 8 for North Park. From the North Park 42-yard line.
Tackled by Weaver and Hall after a 2-yard pickup. 2nd and 8 from their own 42.
Last year, Elmhurst played 4 quarterbacks. This one tipped into the air, and it is incomplete. Eddie Byer, playing on the D end, was able to get a hand on the pass and deflect it up into the air. Dangerously floated in the air for a little while and fell incomplete. Now 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Last year, combined on the whole season, the Blue Jays had 5 passing touchdowns. Rolando Hernandez has 4 in today's game. Conway back to throw, lots of pressure on a blitz, one-on-one coverage, and Daniels can't quite adjust to the football. Blue Jays brought a jailbreak blitz, one-on-one coverage. Daniels had the corner beat. That was the safety Schwartz who was covering him, but Conway's pass a little off the mark. Daniels got turned around. And the Blue Jay defense gets off the field once again. Senior late in defense for the Blue Jays. Looking at the seniors in the starting lineup, Tyler Schwartz, a safety. Sean Weatherall, another safety. Perot Charles, Brian Tucker, Andy Warson, Alec Totoli, Miles Carroll, Eddie Byer, all seniors on this Blue Jay defense. And told us the heart and soul of the team, but today the offense has really done their work as well. This one forces Hausman way back, and he takes it on a over-the-shoulder catch, spins up towards the 20. Not a whole lot of room for the return there. And as number 95 for the Vikings, Seth Swanson comes in. The long snapper makes the tackle. And Elmhurst will have another chance at offense here. 1st and 10 from their own 18.
A 1st and 10 for Elmhurst from their own 18.
Number 7, Wheaton, struggling on the road at Carthage. High score at 7 early in the second half. Another CCIW action. Hand off to Connor Brewer, nothing doing. Tackle made by number 26 for the Vikings, Chris Washington, in on the stop. Quickly into the backfield. Brewer leans ahead for 1.
Connor Brewer, the ball carrier, tackled by Washington on the play after a 1-yard pickup. 2nd and 9 for Elmhurst.
2nd and 9 for the Blue Jays from their own 19. McKellar and Partenheimer split to the near side. No Kalen Miller in the game right now. Washington comes on a blitz. It's picked up, and Bergault runs up the middle. Flag on the play as Bergault doesn't get much. Essentially no gain, but looks like we'll have a flag. Jeff Curran will tell us.
Number 7, kickback.
The face mask on the Vikings. Their 7th penalty of the afternoon. And it gives Elmhurst a 1st down. Pushes the Blue Jays all the way up to the 35-yard line. And what would have been perhaps 3rd and 8 is now 1st and 10. Blue Jays set up with a trio of receivers on the far side. One back, it's Bergault. He takes the handoff right up the middle. Churning the feet for a couple extra. Lunging towards the 40, he'll get to the 39. Gain of 4, set up 2nd and 6 for the Blue Jays. As you see, Bergault just continuing to chug those legs, keeping that knee off the ground until the last second when he falls forward. For a gain of 4.
Tackled by Joseph and Mayava after a 4-yard pickup. 2nd and 6.
Joseph and Mava on the stop. Bergault still in the game. Haven't seen Robley yet in this half. Handoff right up the middle. Bergault again, nothing doing. Gain maybe a half yard. 3rd and a long 5 coming up for the Blue Jays here. He was hitting the backfield, lucky just to get back near the line of scrimmage.
Bordeaux tackled by Maeva. and Momola after a 1-yard pickup. It sets up a 3rd and 5 for Elmhurst from their own 40.
In the pistol, Hernandez with now three receivers to the far side. One split near side. Hernandez takes the snap, looks to throw. Dancing, stepping over to the pocket, throwing one that is intercepted in the middle of the field by North Park. Matt DeFecchio picks it off, and then we have some extracurriculars back behind the play, and a flag comes out as DeFecchio makes the catch. That ball just floated by Hernandez into the middle of the field, and DeFecchio makes the interception. And we'll see what the flag is. I saw a Blue Jay on the turf.
Hernandez pass intercepted by DeFecchio. There was a flag.
Hernandez just kind of lofted that one up in the middle of the field. Personal foul on North Park. It'll be the Vikings' 8th penalty and already their 3rd penalty here just about halfway through the 3rd quarter. And it'll back them up 15 more, so instead of starting from right around their own 35, they'll start from right around their own 20. Back to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there for North Park after the turnovers. Not quite the field position they had hoped for. And essentially, after everything, a punt for the Blue Jays. Menendez takes the carry, and he is bottled up quickly on the far side. Eddie Byer, number 95. And also number 51 for the Blue Jays, Brian Tucker, both in on the stop.
Menendez met by Byer and Tucker. Stop for no gain. 2nd and 10 Vikings.
Stack of receivers here on the near side as Conway looks to throw, and we have a whistle. False start on North Park, their 9th penalty.
Offense, good ball.
Not sure who exactly it was on, but pushes him back to the 18-yard line, and it sets up 2nd and 15. Conway takes the snap, pulls it out, on play action, looking to throw towards this side. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Tristan Bolis at the 35. He's still going, trying to cut it back to the far side, looking for a block, and instead he'll be taken down right around the 30. My Hunter Hinkle, who comes back after running his route, and the teams trade interceptions as Bolis picks off a pass from Conway. And now Elmhurst has great field position.
Elmhurst takes over 1st and 10 at the Vikings 30.
It's been a rough day throwing the football for TD Conway. An all-conference quarterback last season. Blue Jay defense has been all over them today. Conway really should have had one intercepted earlier as well. It was dropped by Bolis. This time he does not squander the opportunity. And the Blue Jays set up 1st and 10. Hernandez hands off to Bergolt. No, he play action pass, and it's going to be caught by McKellar on the far side. McKellar cutting back to the inside, all the way down past the 15 for an Elmhurst 1st down. And that play action fake got me too. Wide open in the middle of the field, McKellar, as you see here, cutting back towards the inside. Running down towards the 12, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Elmhurst, back into the red zone, where the Blue Jays have been stellar this season. 9 of 9 on red zone possessions for the Blue Jays so far this season. Hernandez takes the snap, and he pulls it out. Hands off. He's got some running room, and he fumbles the football. Fumbled it right near the end, into the end zone, and it is recovered. No, it's recovered out of bounds. And it's a touchback. And Hernandez just about to go into the end zone for another score. Coughs up the football, and it's another turnover. Oh, he was right near the goal line. Fumbled from the right at about the 2-yard line and then picked up by DeFecchio. Franz Dorsley also there. And it ends up being a touchback. Oh, the Blue Jays with a chance to go up 42-10 there. Fernandez can hold on to it, but instead it's stripped by the Vikings. And it's a touchback. North Park sets up at the 20. Conway, quick pass is batted down. Mike Weaver, left defensive end, quickly knocks down the pass from Conway, who has been struggling to get going all day long.
Conway's pass knocked down by Weaver at the line. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings.
Conway looks off his back foot, throws to the far side. Bolus has another pick. Tristan Bolus with his 2nd interception in 3 passes for Conway. He threw that one off his back foot, and Bolus beat Hinkle to the football. 4 turnovers here in the second half. 2 for each team. Bolus, after dropping a surefire interception on the near side earlier this half, now has 2. Both teams turning it over. Elmhurst back with the football with good field position. 1st and 10 at the Vikings 44. Hernandez takes the snap, and it's going to be a run for Robley, who breaks one initial tackle and then gets driven pretty hard down to the turf by Mava. Now Milo, number 44, and Mava, number 40, along with DeFecchio as well, who made the final hit. 3 Vikings in on the stop.
7 yards, brought down by Mayava and Maiello on the play. 2nd and 3 for Elmhurst from the Vikings 37.
7-yard gain for Elmhurst, sets up 2nd and 3. Remember, this is the most the Blue Jays offense has scored since the game against the triple overtime game against Carthage back in 2014. Hernandez, all sorts of trouble. He is sacked. Uli Latuli breaks through in the middle of that defense and slams Hernandez to the turf. And that'll set up 3rd and 10 now as the Blue Jays essentially lose the 7 yards they gained on 1st down. 6th sack allowed by this offensive line for the Blue Jays that has a lot of experience. Junior Pat Walsh, who started last year, Sam Rathbun, a senior, Garrett Underwood, a junior, the center, Ed O'Sullivan, a junior, and then Billy Schaefer, the senior. Right tackle, high snap, and it's batted down to the line by Latuli. Latuli makes another good play as he knocks down that Hernandez pass, a snap that almost evaded Hernandez there, and the Blue Jays will be forced to punt. They'll try to pin North Park deep here instead of opting to go for it. They'll play field position, leading 35-10. Cantu is back deep. Wind going with this punt from Finucane. Left-footed, carrying beyond the returner, Cantu, and it goes all the way into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. The Wind carrying that one. That's such a tough shot for Finucane there on the punt, trying to hold it out of the end zone with the wind blowing pretty hard now from left to right here on this field. A beautiful day for football at Langhorse Field. Doesn't quite have that fall bite yet. Still very warm out here. And a beautiful day for football here as under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Conway back in the shotgun, rolls right under some pressure and has to throw it into the ground. Pressure applied by Mike Weaver, making a couple of big plays here in the second half. Weaver, the senior from Vacaville, California.
Incomplete, intended for Burke. Mike Weaver with the pressure.
6'3", 200-pound senior Mike Weaver applying the pressure on Conway, who had to roll away to his right. Now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Three receivers wide to the right. Conway takes the snap, looks to the right, now looks back to the left. Pass tipped again. Attempted screen was spoiled by Ross Beck, number 78, the sophomore from Paw Paw, Michigan, as he came in and got his hands up in time to knock down the pass. Trying to set up Cavante Spearman on a screen. And now it's 3rd and 10 for North Park. They have been in these 3rd and longs all day long, and it has really hurt them. Two of 8 on 3rd down so far are the Vikings. Throwing to the far side. Nice completion there on the far side to Hinkle. Hinkle trying to get away from another tackler. He will not, as Schwartz spins him down, but not before Hinkle is able to complete a North Park first down. Those are the kind of strikes that T.D. Conway is used to throwing, but he has struggled here in this game. Ticking down to about 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Elmhurst leading 35-10.
1st and 10 from their own 35.
Again, 4 receivers for Conway, who drops back, looks to throw near side, little bit past his intended target. Cupichetti.
Conway's pass intended for
And Conway just overshot him a bit towards the sideline. Spearman the back, next to Conway. 2nd and 10, Conway under pressure, and he is sacked by the Blue Jays. 13th sack of the year for the Elmhurst defense. Byer in there, Warson in there as well, but I think the player who finally finished him off was Brian Tucker. Back to the North Park 24, 3rd and a mile. Elmhurst fans bringing some noise from the near side as Conway hands off on a draw to Spearman, runs into his own lineman and has nowhere to go. So they opt for the conservative draw play here with Spearman. Nice job by Tucker just running the blocker right into the path of Spearman. He couldn't shed the block, but he used the blocker to stunt Spearman's momentum forward. Now from the North Park 28, it'll be a punt for Santillan. Back deep, Hausman and Gaines. Gaines to the far side, Hausman to the near side. Snap a little high, no pressure really applied by the Blue Jays. Line drive punt takes a North Park bounce. Gaines fields around the 30, and it's hit by a couple of Vikings. Willie Ray in the area. No return for Gaines. It'll stay at the 32-yard line of Elmhurst, where they will start another offensive possession here. Still leading 35-10, but a couple of really good opportunities to score here in the second half. At least recently here in the latter portions of the third quarter. Hernandez fumbled at the 2-yard line, which forced a touchback for the Vikings in what has been a turnover-laden second half is now we have two quarterbacks in the game. It's Campbell who's going to take the snap. Hernandez is split out to the left. Campbell will take the snap and run right. Past the 30, towards the 35. Brought down at the 34 for a gain of 2. Following Connor Brewer, his lead back, but nice swarm tackle there by the Vikings.
Campbell, the ball carrier for the Blue Jays, picks up 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 from their own 34.
Elmhurst breaks the huddle with 3 receivers far side. There's Kalen Miller now back in the game on the near side. Also saw Robley as well in the last drive. This is Robley on a handoff up the middle. Runs right into a wall of defenders. Mark Momola, the defensive tackle, providing the initial hit. Right there in the middle. Grabbing his legs was Momola.
Robley, the ball carrier, picks up 2 yards.
Also number 42, Wilson Ray.
Ray. 3rd and 6 from their own 36.
Elmhurst will have to snap it here in the third quarter. About a half-second difference between game clock and play clock. Hernandez has plenty of time to throw. Rolls to the near side and throws it away into the sideline. And that'll do it here for the third quarter. Elmhurst with a touchdown early. Now 35-10 in favor of the Blue Jays over the North Park Vikings. We'll come right back with the fourth quarter after this.
Elmhurst 35, North Park 10.
Have you visited the Elmhurst Public Library lately? The Kids Library is a wonderful place. When not being used for library programs and classes, Elmhurst Public Library card holders can reserve the meeting rooms. The second floor is where you can find the adult and teen collections. An enclosed area, devoted to high school students, provides space to create, play, share, and study together. Use our computers, or bring your own, to our work-friendly business center. Technology classes for all expertise levels are taught in the computer lab. High-quality audio and visual equipment in the Creative Studio gives you the opportunity to create, record, make, and invent. You can produce real items with the 3D printer and poster printer. Study rooms provide space for studying on your own or working with others. The larger gathering room is available to reserve by Elmhurst Public Library card holders. Our convenient book drop and drive-up window make picking up and returning library materials a breeze. Don't forget, Elmhurst Public Library is always open online at elmhurstpubliclibrary.org.
Fourth down for the Blue Jays to start this fourth quarter. Luke Tanaka with you as the Blue Jays lead right now 35-10. And Partenheimer's going to fake it. They're going to fake the punt and throw a jump ball. And did he bring it down? What a catch. No, they're going to call it incomplete. He said it hit the ground, and they're going to call it incomplete. Intended for Justin Ward, number 86, who ended up with the football. Or excuse me, actually, it's number 36. Partenheimer tossed it to Sean Bruner, Nolan Copland, number 36. And they say the pass is incomplete. A fake punt for the Blue Jays here, leading 35-10. Interesting call by the Blue Jay coaching staff. Let's start up this fourth quarter. And he almost brought it down. Initially, I thought he may have, but the referee came in from the far side, singled incomplete because the ball hit the ground.
From the Elmhurst 36.
The ball lofted, and now the Vikings, heading from left to right, have a very good field position here. 1st and 10 from the Elmhurst 35. Handoff, nothing doing to the left side. Maybe even a loss of a half yard there. Menendez on the carry. Menendez still in the backfield. Conway is the quarterback. 1 tight end and 3 receivers. On 2nd and 10, Conway looks to throw. Looks deep down the field for a man. He had him open, and it's incomplete. Hunter Hinkle, the last second, trying to speed up to get under that one, and it's just overthrown by Conway, who it just seems like the timing has been just a split second off for Conway and his receivers today. It's a couple of miscommunications with a couple of different receivers, and then that one just overthrowing his intended target. It seemed like it hasn't been large margins that he has missed by. It's been very small margins. Now 3rd and 10 here in the 4th. Back to throw. Conway under pressure, and he's sacked by number 52 for the Blue Jays. Mike Weaver with another big defensive play.
Conway is sacked by Weaver on the play.
Weaver has made 3 really big defensive plays here in the second half, and North Park will try to pin the Blue Jays deep and play field position.
On the play brings up 4th and 15.
You have to imagine if this is 4th and 5 or even maybe 4th and 8, you feel comfortable with Conway throwing for a first down, but a 4th and 15, not as much after the sack. And Santillan is out to punt. Blue Jays don't send anybody deep. They are looking for a fake. And Santillan will boot it high into the air with the wind. Good looking punt. Bounces, and North Park downs it at the 1. Lucas Thompson, the wide receiver on special teams, downs it at the 1, even inside the 1. And that's where the Blue Jays will start this drive, with no room for error, sitting at their own half-yard line. Blue Jays break the huddle with 2 receivers and 2 tight ends, 1 back. Hernandez under center, and I have to imagine this will be a plunge forward to try to get a little bit more breathing room. It is not. It's a handoff on the far side on a stretch play. Gain of a couple for Jim Robley. He gets them out to about the 4 or the 5. So that's some good extra space for the Blue Jays there to work offensively. And interesting to see, instead of a straight-ahead run from a guy like Robley, instead a little bit of a stretch play. And maybe that is to fake out, I suppose, perhaps the North Park defense expecting a run straight up the middle and trying to pack the inside of that box. North Park with 8 defenders in the box right now. They hand it off to Robley anyway, and he has nothing doing for the Elmhurst running back as he is wrestled to the turf by Wilson Ray. And that's going to be a loss of about 1. Set up 3rd and 7.
Robley, the ball carrier, tackled by
Maybe 3rd and a long 7 from the 3. Elmhurst just trying to continue to run this clock. Leading by 25 with 12 minutes remaining here in the game. Hernandez fakes the pass, now runs straight up the middle. Hernandez has some room, has the first down and more. Orlando Hernandez showing off his quickness. Takes it right back up the middle. North Park unable to account for the quarterback, and a couple of tough angles there by the defenders, especially Uli Latuli looked like he might have a play. Didn't get blocked, but Hernandez sidestepped him, and it's a big gain for the Blue Jays and Hernandez. Elmhurst's 22nd first down of the game. approaching 200 rushing yards. Robley straight up the middle, stuffed immediately, and it looks like the ball's out. North Park saying they have it. And the Vikings did recover the fumble. Check it out on the replay. Hard to tell when the ball came out. And the Vikings recover the football. And it's another turnover for the Blue Jays. The offense that clicked on all cylinders in that first half has turned the ball over 3 times here in the second half. Really, it was about the first 35 minutes, you could say, because the Blue Jays scored their 5th touchdown of the game early in this second half. And now another turnover sets up North Park in the red zone, 1st and 10.
The fumble recovery gives North Park the ball 1st and 10 from the Elmhurst 18.
Conway back to throw. Lots of time over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Daniels. Conway just couldn't quite get it to him. Let's see if he was able to deliver. He had to kind of deliver off his back foot there, and I think that little bit of pressure from the middle of that Elmhurst defensive line affected Conway's throw just a little bit. Didn't quite step into that throw as much as maybe he would have. And he landed a little bit short of Daniels. Again, 4 receivers, 3 to the near side for Conway. Looking left, heading for the end zone. Overshoots his intended target, Cupichetti, incomplete. Elmhurst, 66 plays, 339 total yards. North Park, 46 plays, 180 total yards. Elmhurst just 5 of 13 on 3rd down today. Really, it's been the key for them on the first couple of downs. They've converted a lot of first downs on 1st down and 2nd down when they've ran the ball effectively. Again, back to pass. Conway looks towards Daniels, incomplete, overshot him. 3 consecutive incompletions set up 4th down and 10.
Intended for Daniels. 4th and 10 for the Vikings.
Let's see what the Vikings want to do here on 4th and 10, sitting at the Elmhurst 18-yard line. After the turnover, had a golden opportunity to score here. Looks like they're going to go for it. Not a whole lot of surprise here. Under 11 minutes to play, trailing by 25. North Park really needs this one. Elmhurst defense trying to get another stop. They have been stellar today against a high-powered North Park offense. Conway throws to the near side, overshoots his intended target, incomplete. Intended for Bailey Singh-Halpin. Too high. And the Blue Jays take over on downs inside their own 20. Four incompletions from the Vikings after the Elmhurst fumble. Conway is now 6 of 30. He's completed only 20% of his passes against this Blue Jay defense. 97 yards and 2 interceptions. And what has been a breakout performance for this Blue Jay defense. Zach Campbell is now the quarterback in the pistol. Campbell takes the snap and pulls it out of the belly of Connor Brewer and slides down. Brought down by DeFecchio on the far side. The safety coming down to make the play is Campbell opted to a little bit of an awkward slide there, but smart to save himself a big hit. Now Campbell will come off and Hernandez back into the game. Loss of 1 for Elmhurst, 2nd and 11, but the clock continues to run. Remember, Elmhurst in the preseason CCIW poll picked last, picked 9th. Elmhurst trying to win their opening CCIW contest here today. Run to the right. Ooh, and a big hit by Mava, the linebacker. All-conference linebacker out of American Samoa. The junior with a big hit on Robley, and he is driven to the turf. And it looks like that'll be no gain. Looks like they may give him 1. Give him about half a yard.
Tackled by Maeva.
To the 18.
3rd and 10 for Elmhurst.
And it's now 3rd and 10 for the Blue Jays. Wouldn't be surprised to see a run here either. It's Campbell back in at QB once again. Hernandez split out to the right. Now Campbell runs straight ahead, gets hit. Gained maybe 1 on the play. Campbell has started some games for the Blue Jays. He's a senior from Muskegon, Michigan. And last season, the Blue Jays had 5 starting quarterbacks with all the injuries that they faced at that position. Really derailed their season. And so to have now 4 very serviceable, healthy quarterbacks has to feel pretty good if you're the Blue Jays. And we've seen a lot of Hernandez, a little bit of Campbell. Both of them very similar dual threat quarterbacks. As Partenheimer gets set to kick it away, North Park comes for the block. They don't get there. Right near midfield, fair catch signaled by Cantu, and he makes it. At the North Park 49-yard line, which is where the Vikings will set up for this next drive with less than 8.5 minutes left in the game. Blue Jays out in front 35-10.
From their own 49.
Orlando Hernandez, 4 touchdowns today through the air for Elmhurst. Also a rushing touchdown from Daniel Burgo. And how about the play of Jim Robley? 22 carries, 100 yards. 4.5 yards per carry. Draw play back up the middle, and a good one for Spearman as he's able to gain about 11 and a North Park first down into plus territory, taken down at the 40.
Spearman, the carrier for the Vikings, picks up 11, tackled by Nixon on the play.
Orlando Hernandez today, 11 for 22. 152 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Hernandez came into the game, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. Now 8 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the season. Handoff straight ahead, Spearman for 2 more. No huddle offense for North Park. Not in a considerable hurry here. With under 8 minutes to play. Still all 3 timeouts for both teams. Blue Jays looking to open up their season with a victory here in the CCIW. Back to throw. Screen set up and taken down. Spearman in the middle of the field. The defender, Mike Dickin, the linebacker. It was a pretty close play. He took down Spearman, and that pass may have been in the vicinity when he did, but no flag called. Conway incomplete once again. And it's now 3rd and 8. 6 for 31. TD Conway. As he drops back once again, steps into this one on the near side, and it's a little bit off his intended target. Heading for number 2, Denton Delgado. Couple of players applying pressure on Conway as he delivered the football. And needless to say, it has been a day to forget for TD Conway. Still just over 7 minutes to play. Here in the 4th quarter, it's now 4th and 8 for the Vikings. From the Elmhurst 37. Back to throw. Plants, fires, intercepted by Ogbabor. Victor Ogbabor with another interception for the Blue Jays. 3rd INT of the day thrown by Conway as he got hit as he threw. And he's still on one knee on the turf as Ogbabor comes away with the interception. And what will assuredly be a day to forget, not only for Conway, but the North Park offense in whole. A team that came into this game averaging 32.5 points a game, almost 400 passing yards. They've scored 10 points after averaging 32.5. points per game in their first two. They have 96 rushing yards after averaging 111, so that's not as big of a disparity. As here comes Hernandez with a big run to the right side. Hernandez down the sideline, into plus territory, past the 35, down towards the 30. A big gain for Orlando Hernandez, and that will send the Blue Jays over 200 rushing yards today. But it could come back. And see the flag on the play. It's going to be on up the field, it sounds like number 20. Not sure if that is correct or not. So it's going to be holding instead. And so they're going to spot it at the 30 now, and it'll be first down and 15 after the holding penalty. So a big play by Hernandez negated. Hand off to the right side. Big hole for Robley. Jim Robley up the sideline into plus territory, and there's the 200-yard mark for the Blue Jays. This Elmhurst offensive line has shown up in a big way today. Big holes all around. Robley back towards midfield, taken down at midfield. First down for the Blue Jays, 213 rushing yards. But back to that North Park offense, a team that had averaged 506 total yards per game coming into this contest. Right now is a total of less than 200, 193 total yards, and just 3.57 yards per play to the Blue Jays' 5.14. Another handoff for Robley, this time tripped up quickly. Number 65 in on the stop. Angel Rodriguez, the defensive lineman from Massachusetts. At the North Park 46-yard line, gain of 4. And I think the biggest stat here is the passing yardage. Go back to our keys of the game. T.D. Conway was one of the keys. Obviously, every time he comes out for North Park, he is a key to the game. And he has passed for only 97 yards after averaging 395 per game in his first two. Hernandez on the option. Keeps it, runs left, and gets another Elmhurst first down all the way to the 37-yard line of the Vikings. We'll revisit our keys to the game here with about 5 minutes to go. For North Park, it was score early. They did. The first touchdown of the game was to the Vikings, but the Blue Jays got out in front, and that's where they are comfortable on offense for sure. The other one was to help out T.D. Conway, and really it's been a struggle to help out Conway. It's been a struggle for Conway himself, one of the more consistent players in the conference in terms of especially passing yards as a true pocket passer, but today it has not been his day, as Robley goes ahead and didn't get much, but the clock will continue to wind. Gain of 3 sets up 2nd and 7. As Robley scampers to the 35-yard line. And then it was slow down Hernandez for the North Park Vikings, but it is anything but for Hernandez. For Elmhurst, the keys, it all starts up front, and it has today for the Blue Jays. The defense, or the offensive line, has shown up in a big way against the Vikings, opening up lots of running holes and leading to 228 rushing yards for Elmhurst. Also, you have the big plays on D, and there was one very big play on defense as Robley runs right up the middle on a draw. Another little chunk, that's 3. It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up for the Blue Jays after Robley's gain of 3. That big play on D was the forced fumble by Sean Weatherall with their clock ticking down in the first half. Blue Jays leading 21-10. Stripped by Weatherall. Pick up by Andy Warson, taken down to the 17-yard line, and then on the very next play, Hernandez with another touchdown to put the Blue Jays up 28-10 heading into half. All about that with the big play on D. 3:30 to go as Hernandez takes the snap, rolls left, and is tripped up. Loses the ball, and it's picked up by the Vikings, and they're just able to bring him down. Hernandez fumbles the football, and it's picked up by DeFecchio. And the Blue Jays are very lucky to catch DeFecchio before he could get going. That could have been taken all the way back to the house. Instead, with 3:20 to go, North Park with possession, and there's yet another turnover by the Blue Jays. Of course, a very good day offensively, but this second half has been pretty tough when it comes to turnovers. But the defense has held steady, and that has kept the Blue Jays out in front comfortably. New quarterback into the game. He fires to the far side, incomplete. Conway is out of the game. He's been replaced by Jace Bankard, the sophomore from Belvedere, Illinois. 6 foot, 195-pound quarterback now in the game as Conway will take his seat for the rest of this one. Completed the first 4 passes of his season. That was his first incompletion of the year. Played last week in a win against, or excuse me, in a loss against Midland University. So that one was a handoff up the middle. Spearman on the carry. Lots of Blue Jays swarming in on the stop. Under 3 minutes, the Blue Jays have lost all 3 fumbles they put on the turf today.
Spearman picks up 4 yards on the carry, brought down by Dominski on the play. 3rd and 6 for the Vikings.
4 turnovers for Elmhurst here in the second half, as this one is a completion to the far side, cutting back to the inside, the wide receiver. Lucas Thompson with the catch. Strike thrown by Bankard. Into plus territory, the Elmhurst 45. Check back in. Wheaton currently leading Carthage 19-14, but Carthage has the ball in Wheaton territory at the Wheaton 38-yard line. Bankard to the near side, incomplete. Charlie Krieger in the area. Intended for Thompson. Carthage giving Wheaton, one of the top-ranked teams in the country, a big scare right now. The Thunder only 30 yards rushing so far in the game. Second and 10 for Carthage from the Wheaton 38. Now 3rd and 10, looking to upset the 7th-ranked Thunder. Here's a draw play. First tackle evaded by Spearman, but eventually he's brought down by a couple of Blue Jays. Alec von Volkenburg, or excuse me, not Alec von, it's Mike Dicken, excuse me, in the area. Number 15. 3rd and 10 for North Park. Under 2 minutes to play. So after this one, throwing to the far side, and it is intercepted on the far side by Ryan Wire. Wire of the far sideline, looking for some extra yards. Past midfield, down the sideline, 35-30. Cuts to the inside, 25-20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Blue Jays. An emphatic way to end this home opener. All the way back for the touchdown.
By Ryan Weir.
Ryan Weir to the house.
For an Elmhurst touchdown.
Blue Jay fans on their feet here at Langhorse Field. A dominant performance by Elmhurst today over North Park. And another big play made by this defense. 4th turnover of the half from North Park. 8th overall turnover of the second half. Now Bailey for the extra point. It's up, it's low, but it's good. Looks like somebody might have got a hand on it, but it still goes through. 1:13 left. Elmhurst 42. North Park 10. The most points the Blue Jays have scored since October of 2014. The Blue Jays looking to go to 1-0 in conference play, 2-1 on the season. Luke Tanaka with you. What a game it's been for the Blue Jays offensively. Let's check in at a couple of the stats. It started early, actually recapping the scoring. North Park took the lead early on a Menendez 43-yard run on their first play from scrimmage. And Bergault answered a Blue Jays, a 9-play 74-yard drive for a touchdown to tie the score, then a 9-play 56-yard drive in 5 minutes to take the lead 14-7. Santillan hit a field goal to make it 14-10. That's the closest that the Vikings would get. 9-play, 58-yard drive for the Blue Jays late in the second quarter, to pull them ahead 21-10. And then after a turnover, a fumble from Menendez set up the Blue Jays at the North Park 17 with just 17 seconds left. Another touchdown. This time a Hernandez pass to Brockman. Brockman's second TD of the game. And then Elmhurst with a score early here in the second half, and now a score late. The pick six by Ryan Weir. 42-10, Elmhurst providing a statement after being picked 9th in the coaches poll in the CCIW, making a statement here today with a thrashing of the North Park Vikings. Ball bouncing, picked up on the near side and brought towards the sideline. Pulled down hard. Nick French was the man who picked it up for North Park. Just about a minute to go, and I suppose we could take a chance to look at the upcoming schedule for the Blue Jays. One of their toughest tests of the season will come next week on the road at Wheaton.
Nick French with a 2-yard return on the kickoff.
1 o'clock start in Wheaton against the number 7 ranked Thunder, who right now are still leading. They now have the ball. As Carthage had to punt on that last drive. Here's a run for North Park, straight up the gut. Clock running down, under a minute to go. John Wilkinson on the carry that time, and it was a nightmare day for TD Conway and the North Park Vikings.
Menendez picks up 4 on the carry, tackled by Dominski on the play. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings.
Second and 6, pass to the near side, complete. Out of bounds, Bailey Singh-Halpin makes the catch, the freshman from Washington.
Bankford's pass complete to Singh-Halpin for 9 yards.
To midfield, out of bounds to stop the clock, 24.3 seconds to go. Elmhurst that far away from a CCIW win here to open up the season. This ball bobbled on the snap, and the quarterback Bankard will just lean forward, and that's going to be it. Not a whole lot as they lose a yard. Let's see if they try to snap the ball once again. Under 10 seconds to play, and that's going to be it. The Elmhurst Blue Jays, after being picked 9th in the coaches poll in the CCIW, come into their first game of the conference season, and they make a statement. 42-10 win for the Blue Jays. Dominant performance on offense and on defense here today. 2-1 now, the Blue Jays, 1-0 in the conference. The Vikings are 1-2 and 0-1 in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. Final score 42-10. Let's rattle down some of those team stats and give you a little perspective here as to what the Blue Jays defense was able to do today. North Park through 2 non-conference games, 400 yards passing per game in those 2 games, only 113 today. And total yards, 217. North Park normally averages over 500 in their first 2 games. Now, the CCIW is, of course, a completely different animal than non-conference play. But at the same token, that's a lot of offense to limit an all-conference quarterback like T.D. Conway to what he struggled with today. The defense held Conway 6 of 33. That's a 18.2% completion percentage for just 97 yards and 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. What a day for the Blue Jays offensively and defensively. On the offensive side of the ball, the Blue Jays in total, 371 total yards, 219 on the ground, 152 via the air, as Orlando Hernandez and a mix of players really lead the team today. Connor Brewer, 4 receptions for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brockman of the Blue Jays, 2 receptions, 34 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of the biggest red zone threats on this Blue Jay team. Brockman, the 6'4 receiver. Kalen Miller, 2 catches, 23 yards. Austin McKellar, 2 catches and 20 yards. While rushing-wise, how about Jim Robley coming out of nowhere, off the depth chart, 26 carries, 127 yards, 4.9 yards per carry. And the Blue Jays were looking, and Ron Plan's looking, what is going to be the staple of this team in the running game, as Elmhurst celebrates the victory down below us. Elmhurst celebrating the victory down below us. Time to ring the victory bell here at Langhorse Field for the first time this season, hopefully of many, with 4 home games on the slate here. And we'll stream all of those on BlueJayTV.com. Orlando Hernandez on the ground, 13 carries, 81 yards to go along with Robley's 26 carries for 127. And those were the 2 key rushers for the Blue Jays, as Hernandez completes 11 out of 22 passes, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 152 yards. Blue Jays did turn it over 4 times in the second half. That will be something to talk about as we get into this week in preparation for the number 7 ranked Wheaton Thunder, who are looking a little bit vulnerable, you must say, leading Carthage right now 19-14 on the road in Kenosha. And right now it is 19-14 with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to play in that one. And we'll update you that one as we close the broadcast here in just a bit. Total numbers offensively for the Blue Jays, 371 yards as they complete just 5 of 15 on third down. But possession, how about 37 minutes and 56 seconds of possession for the Blue Jays today. They've been a possession team this season, and they've been able to do that today as well. Blue Jays, after averaging 20.5 points per game in their first 2, go for 42 today as they ring the victory bell out to the left here in Langhorse Field. And the Blue Jays had averaged just 264 total yards of offense. They eclipsed that by over 100 today, 371 yards of total offense, 5 extra minutes of time of possession from the average. And the Blue Jays, once again, very good in the red zone. They go 5 of 6 in the red zone today. They are now 9 of 10 in the red zone this season. Final numbers for this one, 24 first downs for the Blue Jays, 11 for North Park, as the teams turn it over a bunch, but the Blue Jays dominant offensively and defensively today over the Vikings. I'd like to thank all of you tuned into this broadcast of Elmhurst College football. For all our great crew here, and I'm Luke Tanaka saying so long from Langhorse Field. Final score, Elmhurst victorious in the home opener and the conference opener, 42-10.